You need to realize everything is going wrong. That is the reason why I'm singing this song. It's like a ghost town. Memories of you. It's like a ghost town. Everything that you do. Money in this country is getting worse. People are struggling.
Okay. I started making this quick little video, you know, because I want to express a few points. I thought, since you always think my videos are a bit boring, make this a little bit more interesting. So, here we are, beautiful month of March. See, I told you, didn't I? Oh, the sun is going to start coming out in March, because it does, you know, the start of spring. Thing is, just wanted to point out to those people that are like watching out there and think, oh, this guy's a bit of a boring and all that. Well, you see, the thing is, I know all about fun, you know, and normally I'm quite happily go lucky. It's just the fact that with everything that's going on these days, we need to do something about it. So, just that really, just that I'd say, you know. Look after each other, you know, stay safe, and see you soon. Bye. Okay, here's an example of a double rainbow. Check out for a rainbow. Yo, man, that's sick, isn't it? That in the distance is the Hilton. Now listen to the hum that's giving off as the wind is blowing. Okay, spraying up again. Gotta ask yourself why. You can see the harp. You can see that. Look at that. Right. Now, as you can clearly see, there's some cloud formation being built up using the chemtrails and dragging that and using that to drag the air particles. And then you've got the ripples of heart pushing it, helping to push that. Yeah, this is what is going on. It goes on early in the morning and you're all half asleep. As we speak, there we have another one. very faint to see. Here we go again. Fascism. Okay, just want to show something to all you doubters and disbelievers about the chemtrails thing. What we're looking at here is, see how it's grouped there, and then it stops, and then it starts again, and then it starts, and it's starting and stopping, right? That's what happens when they stutter the release. Okay, obviously clouds don't make lines, okay, but this is their attempt to break it down, to try and make it just blend in. And this is where you need to be totally aware of what is going on. Look at the greyness of the sky and the clouds. Just above that, the wispiness. That's all chemicals. This is all chemicals. 1, 2, 3, blob, all in a line. I'm going to show you more like that because there's too many stupid, weak, cowardly people out there who do nothing, who talk rubbish, or who pretend that nothing is going on. Okay, got a world exclusive here. As you can see, they've cleared this land after years and years of it being overgrown. And this is after a major government, I suppose, brainstorm. And you can see obviously the results of them racking their brains there. That's just the collective contents you will see of the local council and their thought process. All sawdust. You know, just the same as those people that are choosing to not preserve their own rights, you know, regarding their own public information being shared by the NHS. This is the type of thing that will be being shared, you know, the genetic material of their brains, mostly comprised of sawdust and a bit of wood. So, world exclusive. Okay, pretty much the first day that we get back, where there's a little bit of sunshine, and look, you know, just really start paying attention, yeah? It's getting to the stage now where your lack of action, your complete and utter apathy is ignoring the obvious things. Look at those straight line clouds. Look at how they've been filled in. Just look. Just really properly look. Lingering in the air. Okay, well, you got start learning, understanding the difference between straight lines and probably the clouds that do exist. Because obviously we know clouds exist, but we're talking about a chemical warfare here. X marks the spot. Well then, yeah.
But why would they do it deliberately? That's what I would ask.
Because they want to reduce world population by 95%, because the natural resources that they've been abusing are running out. And I knew that when I was a kid in school, they'd say by 2020 odd, all the fossil fuels will be gone. So
yeah, they will be gone eventually.
You know, and you know, it's petrol and oil that produces our food more than it is mechanical manpower. It's machines that allow them to do what they're doing.
You know what they could do, right? You know, you go to Tesco's, you get them self-checkouts.
Yeah.
That's one example. They're using machines to do the work that we could do.
Exactly.
Why can't we?
Because it's profit.
Jobs.
It's profit that they're interested in. It's greed, isn't it? They want more and more profit, so to get more and more profit, get rid of the expenses. That's us.
Yeah.
If they don't have to pay for us to eat, like the sanctioning benefits, it's all coming out. It's a fascist plan. And people need to wake up and realise this is actually the same as gassing the Jews. They're gassing the world. Yeah. You might think that's totally ridiculous. Go and ask them then.
I'm open-minded about it.
Ask them.
You could be right on this one, you know what I mean?
I've asked them directly in a letter.
Yeah.
And they've not responded. And when the way I write my letters, if you don't respond, then you're agreeing. You know? So they've made an agreement with me, a legally binding agreement, that this is the case.
Yeah.
Now, if someone wrote to you and said, you've done something that you hadn't done, you'd be writing back straight away, say, listen, I haven't done that, mate. Don't be saying I've done things that I haven't done.
So what you're saying is they're agreeing that you're right about
Yeah.
this?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm right on that. Yeah. Right. Okay.
The first thing you do is ask somebody
they're
a
not going,
question.
are they? Look, they're not going.
No, they're spreading out, and you can see it clearer through this.
You
Right?
can actually look at that. It looks
Because
like a missile.
Right, it condenses. What that does is bring the cloud, the water that's in our atmosphere, and it forms a massive cloud base. And what you're going to see happen, if you stood here for the next couple of hours, is the whole sky will white over completely. Right, blocking out the sun.
Blocking out the sun. Actually.
Yeah, they claim there's global warming. Load of crap. If they went to the Antarctic to try and find out if the ice is melting and got stuck in the ice in the middle of what was sea.
Though, as well, like,
Created by them.
Now,
this is all created by them. They're liable for because they've changed the weather. They've created extremes. You know, for every action there's an equal and opposite reaction. So if you do something like this here, somewhere else there's going to be no clouds.
Yeah.
And what do clouds do in weather? Well, someone who studies the weather.
That's what they do. The water's part of the water cycle. That goes into your reservoirs, your seas.
Yeah.
Well, the rivers, and then the rivers lead to
Yeah.
the seas. And when it gets hot, the sun evaporates the water, and that
Yeah.
goes back up in the sky, and that
Yeah.
forms then eventually into clouds.
Yeah.
And then, like, you see some clouds that are small, don't you? And they're
Yeah.
dead white. And then if you look back there, you see some that are darker, don't you? And they're the clouds that are getting filled up with water.
Yeah, well, you can
And then
see
the rain
clearly
comes
there,
up.
there's a cloud on top of a cloud. So there's layers to these clouds.
Yeah.
But look in the distance now, look what's coming in. See how that it's just being sucked in now. Right in the distance behind them trees. It looks like a mountain of water, doesn't it?
Water, yeah.
Well, that's the effect of this, right? And it's designed to make us ill. And they're really pissed off that I put out my video, told everybody you better opt out of this, letting them sell your information.
YouTube, then. YouTube.
Yeah, I put all of
Put
this
it
on YouTube.
Yeah, people are watching them.
Yeah, I'm asking people to do their own thing. Don't believe me. Just put out a jar, a peanut butter jar that you cleaned out, scrubbed it out. When it rains, collect that, then just boil it and see what's left.
So
That
what's left
residue
inside, yeah.
is what's fell down,
Right, okay.
isn't it?
Yeah.
And then
See
you could
how-
take that and have it tested, and they'll tell you what chemical is actually in it.
And then it'll probably be
Because
something to do with ease.
because rocks don't fly up, do they?
No.
We've got this thing
No,
called
they-
gravity. So
Gravity, yeah.
if there's anything that's come from right up there, especially metal salts, you got to ask yourself, how did metal get up there?
Well, these.
They
bastards,
exactly.
Yeah, look at that.
So 2 and 2 is 4.
2 and 2 is 4, yeah.
So you just go to them and say 2 and 2 is 4. Do you agree? They don't want to answer that
They don't answer because you're right, and that's why they're not replied to you.
because this is a war crime. When they talk about the gassing in Syria and all that, they want to be talking about this corporation damage,
Now, listen,
environmental
I've looked at
damage.
this myself. I mean, I've not took pictures of it, but I've looked at it myself, and it does bother me. It does. It makes me think, because I remember, right, when I was a kid, even when I was a lot younger, aeroplanes coming past, and then
Yeah.
you get that stuff coming out at the end, don't you?
Yeah.
But it used to go quicker.
Yeah,
It
well, they
used to be
call
like
that
10
a
in the sky.
contrail. They call that a contrail. And when the people first started going on about this, they said, "Oh no, don't talk rubbish. It's just a contrail." That is not a contrail. Since we've been studying, look how that's just spread out. Look how there's another one.
Try count them.
They're trying to
Too
fill
many.
the sky in. That's moved in obviously a bit more. Yes, we have wind. Yes, we have things pushing things, but this pulls it into their place. We're literally having the sky blanked out, so you won't have no sun. That sounds like something that they put on some Saturday morning cartoon where the evil villain wants to block out the sun.
Yeah,
Do you
that's it. It's
understand?
all dark and horrible. And
We've already seen it in the movies, so people go, nah.
guess
you
what,
know.
right? Guess what, right? A couple of years ago, I'm alright now. I used, because I kept fit myself, you know what I mean? But I've been smoking, you see. But,
Yeah.
I want to keep fit again, actually. I was running, in the parks and stuff.
Yeah.
And sometimes even doing a bit of road work as well, which is near the roads, running. And I got suddenly this asthma feeling, like where you're wheezing a lot.
Yeah.
And you fucking vote and it suddenly came, because I didn't have that problem before, and it suddenly came. And I was wheezing a lot every time I did as much walking.
Well, this is designed to weaken our immune system. It's designed to weaken us slowly. Because if it happened in one day, everyone would say, we've been gassed, it's a chemical attack. And they'd be on at the government for not having done anything about it. And they'd be looking for the sources of it. The source is this going on every single day. And that's why they want to hide the records now of everybody in the country. And the fact is, they've gone at it and saying, we're just going to take your records and sell them. That's all right, innit? Unless you opt out. No, it's not all right. The law says you need my express written permission. So if you do that and assume that it's okay, when I come later and say, can you guarantee that it's all gone from everybody's system and nobody's got a copy of it? They can't. So what are they? They're liable for damages. Now, what's the damages that you would put on your information being out there, being used for all sorts?
Well,
millions at least.
Well, the damage.
Or the damage to your mum or your dad and your
Yeah.
kids and everybody that they've done it to without getting your permission. What's the damages for that? Billions.
Billions.
Billions. You got to start with billions because this is your life, your health.
Yeah.
Everything else doesn't matter.
Well, that's it. It's your health, and like I said, I actually had asthma from this kind of thing, and
Right.
I managed to get better now. I'm not like that anymore. But it was
Well,
sudden,
the human,
it just
human
came
body has this great ability to heal itself.
on.
You
That's
know?
'cause of God means, you know.
Yeah.
Grace of God.
Physician, heal thyself. The doctor doesn't really know what to do except rely on your natural ability to heal yourself. And they're spraying airborne AIDS. A version of it.
Where the fuck does AIDS come from?
A lab.
Right, why has it been made in a lab? Why,
So,
why
as
would
part of
somebody-
Agenda 21, reduce world population from 7 billion down to about 500 million. And they're so confident of that. You go look up on the internet something called the Judge Guidestones, and they've written their new 10 commandments for the New World Order. Commandment
I was
number
just
1,
thinking about that.
maintain the world population under 500 million in perpetual balance and a harmony with nature. They say. Well, I'll tell you something about harmony and balance with nature. Natural rules, natural law says there's 7 billion of us. And it's possible to have a lot more people on Earth. But we also got to understand that people die as well.
Yeah, people think.
They have set an agenda to control all of us.
Bite me eye.
No, it's right, yeah.
Really, you look like a mass murderer.
No,
What, I forgot your
Two
name.
coat ton.
Okay, it's Monday, the 3rd of March, 2014. I'm just asking, what the hell? Because today we've had all sorts. There's the moon in the background. We've had chemtrails. Now we've got this as well being added to the chemtrails. Something is obviously on fire. Something is definitely on fire. You can smell it in the air. It's kind of wood and plastic, which is never good. Okay, and that's how far it's stretching. I mean, now we've got a view and a half, you know. Look at that. I mean, you've heard of chemtrails. Okay, so let's just try and get a little bit of better perspective on what's happening here. Okay, clearly something is on fire. The good thing about this camera, especially at night, you can really see the separation between that which is smoke and that which is chemtrail and that which is cloud. Now, you see the haziness, that's the chemtrails that they've been spraying earlier today. Those are not clouds. Okay, and now we've got added to this plastic. So, you can clearly see something's on fire. It stinks. It stinks of burning chemical and plastic, and obviously that's not good for us. It's not good for the environment. And it's been going on for quite a while today. So whatever this is not good. You know?